Welcome to duckling season. This video will get you up to speed on how to take care of ducklings and what to watch out for as you work. After you've watched the video, please take the quiz linked in the video description. We admit a few broods of local ducklings every year, but we also receive transfers of ducklings from the Wildlife Care Center at Bird Alliance of Oregon because their facility doesn't have the space to care for the large number of ducklings they receive. ODFW oversees this process. Ducklings stay in our care until they are 6 weeks old and then are released where they were found or in the nearest safe waterway. Per ODFW, we are required to keep ducklings from our service area separate from the ducklings from BAO's service area. Most of the ducklings we admit are mallards, but we occasionally get wood ducks and mergansers. On occasion, especially with goslings, we may attempt or ask the public to attempt wild fostering. This is when an orphaned hatchling is introduced into a wild brood that is being cared for by the parents. Once a suitable brood has been located with babies the same size as the orphan, we distract the parents by throwing a handful of cracked corn into the grass. When the parents aren't looking, we release the orphan into the brood. It should make a beeline for the rest of the ducklings, and if successful, the parents won't notice the extra baby. If you encounter a wild duckling situation, attempt to round up and reunite the babies with the mother. If the mother or parents are confirmed dead, gather up as many of the babies as you can and call the nearest rehab facility. If you don't get through to someone right away, always leave a message with your name, number, location, and situation details. If reuniting isn't possible, the ducklings will need a safe place to grow up. That's where we come in. Once ducklings get to our clinic, we determine their ages and assign them a band color. Ducklings in their first 2 weeks of life are placed in brooder boxes inside. At the beginning of week 3, they are banded with colored zip ties and moved to an outdoor duck box. Both brooders and duck boxes have wet sides for water and dry sides for heat support and diets. They spend weeks 4 and 5 loose in aviary 1 or 2. It's essential that their housing is set up properly to avoid injuries and death. And please note, wood ducks and mergansers have special setups and special diets. As part of our HPAI, or highly pathogenic avian influenza prevention protocols, you must wear gloves anytime you handle ducklings. All birds are screened at intake for HPAI, and any bird exhibiting symptoms must be euthanized immediately. If you notice odd behavior or find a dead duckling, report it to staff immediately. You're also required to change gloves between handling different broods of ducklings. If you want additional PPE, just ask staff. Weight checks are vital to our duckling protocols and must be done first thing in the morning before the ducklings are fed. Before you do anything else with ducklings, check their chart to determine if they need a weight check that day. To weigh ducklings, prep a blue box and label it with the brooder or band color. Tear a blue box on the baby scale and get the duckling chart and a pen. Add the ducklings to the box one at a time, record each weight, pressing the tear button to reset the scale between ducklings. When moving ducklings, always count as you go and make sure your starting and ending numbers match. Once the chart is complete, place it in the to be updated bin just inside the exam room door. After weight checks and counts are complete, clean the brooder. Remove all items and place in laundry or dishes. Any completely dry duck food may be reused, but toss out anything wet. Wipe down the inside of the brooder or take it to the pre-treat station and spray it out with a hose. Wipe it dry, then spray it with Kennesaw and let it stand for 10 minutes. Then wipe the brooder dry and replace the towels, heat pad, surrogate, and add fresh food and water. Don't change anything about the setup unless directed by staff. Place the ducklings back in the brooder, counting as you go, and replace the lid. For week 1, brooder setup looks like this. The dry side has towels or fleece, a surrogate stuffed animal, and a heat pad on low under one layer of towel or fleece. The wet side contains one self-waterer. Please place these self-waterers in a large plate or on a baking wire rack on top of a baking sheet to keep spills to a minimum. The diet should be written on the diet board in the kitchen, but you can also refer to the ducklings chart. For weeks 1 and 2, ducklings get Missouri waterfowl starter, the small pellets. They also get some minced lettuce, clover, duckweed, or grass on the wet side in their water dish. In week 3, ducklings move to an outdoor duck box. To clean these, remove all items and turn off the heat lamp and place it to the side. Dump out the water tub and spray out the entire box, especially under the fatigue mat. Then spray off the rocks where you dumped the water tub. Refill the water tub and reset the box. Again, don't change the setup unless directed by staff. In the evening, place the heat lamp on top of the duck box and turn it on. The setup for duck boxes in week 3 is similar to brooders with a wet side and a dry side. However, the ducklings will switch from the waterfowl starter to the waterfowl maintenance diet, the larger pellets. Place dry food dishes on a towel or pillowcase to collect spills and offer a folded fleece under the heat lamp. Place greens in the water tub. Make sure the water tub has a rock or ramp so ducklings can easily get out. Once the ducklings move out of the duck boxes, weight checks get a little trickier. Before feeding, grab the supplies you'll need: gloves, chart, a pen, towels or pillowcases, and a baby scale, and then set up pet fencing to corral ducklings into one area of the aviary. Catch them up and weigh them one at a time. After they've been weighed, you can let them go. If you notice any ducklings limping, bleeding, or bullying others, alert staff right away. To clean aviaries 1 and 2, remove all uneaten diet and spray down the rocks to remove poop and food debris. Drain, spray out, and refill the saucer pool and any water tubs. It's okay to clean with the ducks in the aviary with you. You only need to catch them up on weight check days. In weeks 4 and 5, the ducklings will be eating a lot of food. If they have eaten their entire diet before your shift is over, let staff know. We will probably have you offer an extra diet, but we need to be informed so we can change the diet amount if needed. If you notice a lot of uneaten food, let staff know about that as well. Again, we may need to adjust the diet amounts on the board. Wood ducks and mergansers require different husbandry from mallards, so please read their charts carefully. Wood ducklings are extremely high stress and need a hide box in their setup. If you see them jumping against the side of the brooder, let staff know immediately. They can exhaust their energy reserves doing this and die quickly. Mergansers get fish added to their diets and move to the pool full time after they graduate from a duck box. Lone goslings must be wild fostered to prevent habituation. A few notes. Again, always wear gloves when handling ducklings. There are no exceptions to this rule. Always count ducklings when moving them. Before you handle ducklings, observe for a few seconds to see if any are limping or bullying others and report any abnormalities to staff right away. If you're not sure you'll remember where everything goes in the brooder or duck box, use your phone to take a picture of the setup before cleaning it, but be sure to disinfect your phone afterwards. Sometimes we receive so many ducklings that we need to advance them into duck boxes before they've hit the 3-week mark. However, they will still receive their normal assigned diet even if they're in different housing. Always feed waterfowl starter, the small pellets, to ducklings less than 3 weeks old, even if they're housed in a duck box. Please pay very close attention to the diet board and duckling charts. Additionally, ducklings still in week 1 should not have any water in the water tub. Instead, we can add mulch or rocks to the water tub. Make sure there's still a ramp so they can get out. Before release, ducklings are captured and boxed up for staff to perform health checks and remove their zip ties. Any ducklings that are too small, limping, or not perfectly waterproof will be held back until they are ready for release. If you're interested in releasing ducklings, let staff know as soon as possible. Most releases are in the Portland area. Staff will advise on release locations. Ducklings are released into waterways so they stay together for safety.